Hello, everyone. Welcome to Lowe's D channel here on YouTube. If you have not yet done this, please do like and subscribe and follow me on TikTok as well. That's right, I'm on TikTok. That's one of the reasons why I didn't get to you all yesterday. I was like in kidnap zone. They were like, you need to do this, this, and that, and the other. They need it. I was like, this is a lot of work. Not to say that YouTube's not a lot of work. It's just that in order to grow my channel, I had to really dig deeper yesterday and it took more time than I expected. And by the time it got late, I was like, I'm not gonna even put that out there to some peoples. I'm not gonna do it. So today you got me. All right. I'm on here early for y'all. I know where y'all are like, what is she out here before 7 o'clock? Before 5 o'clock? It's barely two where I'm at. So there you go. There's that information for you. All right. So we've been discussing fear and understanding the four different types of fear. Of course, one being freeze, right? When people are just like stoic, they can't. It's hard to them to help. They literally get. It's almost like a to a point where they feel like they can't move, they can't think. They're they're in awe. They're in like shock, that this is going on in front of them, and they just don't know where to go. It's okay. It happens. Our mind tells us to do that. Sometimes we need to be that way because people can make us react differently. And we don't need to have a case. I don't need anyone that I know and don't even know, but those I definitely know. I don't want them to catch one because they can't control their emotions. Um, and then of course there's flight when people want to leave and just to disengage as much as possible. And sometimes to literally just up and you're like, where do you go? They're like, they went home. They're like, okay. And then there's some that want to fight and some want to fist fight. And I'm like, oh, hell, no, not today, y'all. Do we have to go here? Not at the barbecue, not the family barbecue. Can we not do that at the family barbecue? Can it just be love and togetherness? And unfortunately, you know, cousin so and so or someone so and so, or it happens, right? It happens to all of us. It doesn't matter what race, creed, whoever you are, you go through fear. And then, of course, not to neglect the last couple, the fawning piece, where you just literally say so many things that are love and oh my God, I just love and adore you when you know that person drives you literally crazy, mad. Every time you get around them, you're like, are they gonna gotta walk on eggshells? So instead of walking on eggshells, you simply just over dramatize everything and telling them how great they are when you're not being truthful. And guess what, guys? They really know when you're being fake. I had people that I used to work with, and they would come up to me and go, "You're the best boss." And I like, but you just told so and so that you want to work somewhere else. And I think that's where it comes from. You have to make sure too that you're being transparent to your team, but you also have to be transparent to the people you work with. They have to know who you are. If they don't know who you truly are, then they're not going to be willing to like be honest with you. And so later me and that person did have a conversation and they let me know the reasons why, because I said, are you sure? I said, because when you said that yesterday, it didn't sound like it sounded like you had a little bit behind that. So what did you mean exactly? Well, I just feel like you give a lot of other people this, not me. So it was interesting. Dig deeper, you know, find out why. And that's what we're going to talk about today, how you can dig deeper when it comes to fear, because it really got to address this. I used to have a fear of heights. Why did I have it? I have no idea. But did I face it? Yeah. I went on that tall bridge, drove that car, and I was just like, "Ooh." And then when I kept doing it, conquered it. But I also was breathing. It's good nobody else was in the car with me. Because seriously, guys, I was doing one of these mechanisms. I literally was like, okay, um, this is what I'm gonna do in order to make sure that I mindfully meditate. So I literally was just breathing, deep breathing exercises as I'm going across that bridge. And I still sometimes still have it inside. Not as much as it used to be. So, again, facing your fear is a lot. I get it. So let's talk about it, okay? And I keep talking about me. So let's talk about you. Okay. So you need to create a fear that's a ladder. So create a fear ladder that, and I would really suggest that you start from the strongest thing is at the bottom, or should I say, excuse me, strongest thing is at the top. So the strongest thing that gives you anxiety, fear, will be at the top, and the one at the bottom is going to be the less than. So that's not going to give you as much fear. You know what I mean? It's fearful, but it's not like overly too much anxiety. So make a ladder. And of course, in my case, I drew a ladder. You don't have to draw a ladder. You can literally just do steps. You can do a list, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, or however you wish to do it. I did a ladder because I really wanted to make sure that when it came down to it, that the beginning, the top of it was really truly the one that gave me the most anxiety. And that was it. So that really helped me. Um, and so then you start off small, right? You start to gradually get that going where you start to really become more comfortable moving up that ladder. And then it's the other case, which is you don't want to rush. This is so important. I'm going to stress this again. Do not rush. Rushing through this can cause you to have anxiety because you're wanting to get through it so fast, so immediately, because you feel like, unfortunately, it sometimes affects your self esteem. It can make you feel less than, and you can't let that happen. We all have fear. There's fear for me of the unknown. You know, I'm always trying to figure out what's next. How's it going? What's going on in the world? What's it? Aliens? You know, so I mean, that's me. You know what I mean? And then I come to grips with that. So I'm saying that to you as well. We've already gone through acknowledging it. You've acknowledged what it is. You are facing it with a challenge. You are trying to get all the negative thinking out when it comes to it. So you are making it to something more positive. You know, when you say to yourself, I will get this through. I can do this versus I'll never do this. I'll never get past this. This is something I faced. I've always been scared. I've always been scared of. It's like a friend who is afraid of a cat or afraid of dogs, but they've ever had an experience with a dog or cat. They just it's relevant. So you can't really say that until you address it. Um, and then so you've created a fear ladder. You started off small. You progress gradually, and now you're not rushing. Do not rush. Rushing will cause you to be like you're being impatient. Everything happens in your time. If you're with someone else, a friend that's doing the same thing, and they're like, "Oh, my second ladder," good. That's great. Good for them. You know, or they're on their second step, and you're still on the first one. That's fine. Everyone works in their own rhythm, in their own time, and patience is truly necessary throughout most of life, of course, but definitely when it comes to you going through something that's that emotional, because fear is an emotion. So you have to be careful, guys. So give yourself grace, okay? Practice mindful relaxation, whether it's mindful meditation or meditation, of course, you know, is engaging in regular mindfulness where you are always thinking of things that you can say that keeps you grounded. uh, it helps manage anxiety. You also have to do those deep breathing exercises that we talked about before, and I'm going to mention those again. It's so imperative that you do those because they can help you learn how to calm and center yourself so you don't keep thinking or going with right now my stomach, I can feel my heartbeat. I can feel my heartbeat, you know, and then you start going into more and more anxiety because you're starting to sweat. And then your heart is beating. And the next thing you go, you know, it's just not good. Again, practice deep breathing. Practice it. I don't expect you to be like, I'm good at this. Look at me go, you know? And I'm like, okay, just breathe in 4 times. You're like, 4 times, like, no, this 4 times, like, then release it 4 times. Like, and I do that because to me, it helps me think of my body going up with the breathing, and then I'm going back down with the breathing. And if you do those 4 times in a row, meaning breathe four, up four, down four, up four, down four, 4 times, you should start to feel some calmingness. The other part of this would be progressive muscle relaxation. The one I like to do is with the feet. Yeah, everything with me is with feet. It's from the bottom up. Sorry, guys. It's the way I work. Bottom up because you want to see the progression. There's a reason why I do that. The progression starts to take place. By the time it hits your brain, you're ready to go. You're like, I did that. That was me. but you're also able to see yourself as you go down, as you start from the bottom up. Same thing with the ladder. You're able to see the progression. Because when it comes to anything progression, we want to go where? We want to go up. We ain't trying to go down. We're trying to go up. Up is always the better term. Up keeps you positive, keeps those positive thoughts you're already doing. You've already acknowledged it. You've already accepted the fact that you're going to be positive about it. Now you are facing it and you are doing it and you're succeeding in doing so because not only have you done what's necessary, but you are now on that next part of understanding that you need to create something to help you. You need to meditate to help you. You need to manifest to help you. And by those terms, meaning when you're doing your muscle relaxation, I always like to start at the feet, right? Like I mentioned, and I start to flex my feet. I like to feel the ground underneath my feet. It makes me feel grounded. Then as I proceed up, I'll stretch my limbs out, the knee, continue up, get to the waist, continue up, back, continue up, shoulders, arms, hands, slid it all out. And then next, your neck. And if you want to, you can shake it all together when you get to the head. Something I like to do. It helps me know it's a new day. I got to get it going. I got to get going. I got to get out there, make it happen. All right. Then from there, you want to face your fear gradually, but you also want to um, seek support. So seeking support, nothing wrong with that. There's no shame in that game. A lot of times you have friends that tell you like it is and they tell you the truth. This is where you have to be authentic and you got to let them know I'm going through some things. And they're like, "No, we don't want to do that. For some reason, we would rather hide in a corner than tell somebody we love that loves us right back what's really happening with us. Once you start doing it, it's so impactful. Your friend can sympathize with you. Your friend can tell you they got you. I have a friend that if I need 8 minutes, I call them up like that. I say, I need 8 minutes. They're on the phone. I don't care where they're at. They're like, got you, calling you right now, or they're dialing me right back. I know that sounds crazy, but it's important because life is too short. That's why it's important who you have a support group, have a community. You know, if you're a churchgoer, there you go. Start off there. Be there for those functions. You have a big family, but sometimes, you just want to have friends on top of that, with that too. Again, find your community and then bring them with your family. It's always fun. Then they get to see them and it's a beautiful thing. And then last but not least, you need to make sure that you seek professional help. If what you've gone through all these steps and you still don't see light, you've been patient. Again, you've been patient. You've taken your time, and you like, Dia, I can't get past this. As your coach, I can give you only so much guidance, but as a therapist, they can do more. They can give you a little bit more the psychological piece behind it, uh, and go into more of those, the actual mind thoughts, because they literally go through your childhood and up. Don't get twisted. I have done that before. I try not to because I didn't finish my psychology degree. But that being said, I finished my business. Just didn't get that done. So I'm not here to give you guys or to judge you guys at all. But always happy to do a consultation. All right. And then last but not least, acknowledge when you do meet those successes. Give yourself not that been kind to yourself. You've already been patient with yourself. You've already given yourself grace, right? You've done all the things. You found a new community. You found people you can lean on. Some of your friends that you thought you could lean on, they couldn't lean on them. And now you find out that, hey, I got a couple of friends that I know if I call them in the middle of the night, they'll be like, but they'll be, but they'll wake up for me. That's what I'm talking about. That friend, and that's what you need. Gotta have that in life. And you gotta be able to do the same thing. So it's not a one-sided situation here. That's not how it works. That is not how it works. It isn't. Okay. All right. So we hit the place where we're not acknowledging our successes. We're recognizing, we're celebrating, we're being victorious, we've overcome so many fears. You can still have something that's still there that triggers you, even though you've gotten past it. Is someone speaking from this that's done this exercise? I have moments. I have moments. But I can tell you this. I came out feeling resilient. I came out feeling empowered. I came out feeling with more self-esteem. And it's to a point where I wanted everyone to feel like this because there's so many things that can tear us down in this world today. That's why we have to have each other. That's why I'm on here because I care. I truly care. All right. I'm getting emotional. All right. Reward yourself. Do something for you, whether it's getting your nails done, getting a new lipstick. I don't know. Going to play ball with your boys. You ain't been with them in a minute. Getting some new, in the cases of my brothers, it would be getting them some new sneaks, sneakerheads that they are, or, um, it's my mom, a new bag. Mothers always love, stuff like that. So it is what it is. But you have to figure out what makes you happy too. And it could be literally just going out and getting out of the house, and taking that time to go sit by an ocean or go on vacation. Oh, that's the best kind of, that's what I'm talking about. So there you go. But be consistently applying this, okay? These strategies. Learn to manage them and to overcome your fears. And then anything else, this will lead you to more of a fulfilling, confident life that you will be so happy that you've finally gotten to a point where you feel so good about where you're at and feel like you can conquer anything that comes your way. And not most things, definitely majority of the things that come your way, right? And that's a great feeling to have. That makes you be able to remember your purpose. And those of you who have purposes, we all do. You'll be able to see them as light as they'll be so they'll radiate for you, saying, "This is your calling. Come here." And you gotta just you'll be willing to step on in there and do that. It took me a minute, but here I am today because of that. So anyway, enough about that. Thank you all once again for sitting with me for a little bit. It's going on 17 minutes. Sorry for that. Just trying to keep it to 15. But that being said, thank you again. And I look forward to seeing you guys talking again tomorrow. And remember, if you can't catch me on here, I'm always on TikTok because they keep me kidnapped. Stay bright, guys. Keep that light shining.